There's no better feeling than getting a shiny new spell to try out at your D&D table. But if you're like me and you have played this game for way too long, it is rare that you find a new spell that excites you. So, I decided to fix that. Today, we're talking about 5 totally new homebrew spells that you can use at your D&D table today. Starting off, we have a second level spell that I call Permafrost. You conjure ethereal chains of ice, restricting the target's movement speed and dealing damage. Now, if you've ever watched a video of mine, you know that I like spells that go a little bit further than the simple one and dones. A creature automatically becomes chained by this spell, which effectively halves their movement speed immediately. That alone sounds pretty boring, but that's not all the spell does. If a creature is still chained at the end of their next turn, then the ice continues up their legs, freezing, dealing 2d6 damage and restraining them until the end of their next turn. But wait, if a creature automatically becomes chained, how do they break out of it? Well, rather than tie this to a saving throw, which is lame, I tied it to something else, an attack. A creature can attempt to remove the chains by destroying them, which I think is a really unique interaction for a spell. The chains have an AC of 15 and an HP of 5, but they are immune to area of effect damage. Now, this might sound like a lot. Forcing a creature to make an attack so they don't get restrained later can be huge in the heat of battle. But that's why I made it so other creatures can make an attack against the chains as well to help them break out of it. But moving on to the second spell for today, we have the third level, Hailstorm. You conjure a large chunk of ice and hurl it towards a point you can see within 60 feet. The ice then shatters in a devastating wave of concussive force, dealing 2d8 bludgeoning damage to all creatures in 20 feet. Oh, yep, there it is. Wow, that was fast. I can already hear the comment section.
XP level 3 did it better. Just changed Fireball to
Man, I really want to subscribe to this.
Alright, calm down, XP level 3 fans. Just give me a second to finish. Yes, this is obviously less powerful than Fireball, but that's because it's not just damage. If you would let me finish, you would have heard me say that any creature hit by this must make a Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of their next turn. While the Fireball fanboys might prefer Fireball still, I think adding a little versatility to the classic third level Big Boom spell adds some much needed variety into the game. There, that's it. I'm done, spell's over. Anyways, let's just move on to our third spell for today, which also happens to be a third level spell that I call Glacial Surge. You conjure a path of ice 120 feet in a straight line from your current position. Any creature caught in the path must make a Constitution saving throw or be restrained in ice. Like I said earlier, I really like unique spells. So naturally, the caster of this spell while moving along the pathway can move 2 feet for every 1 feet of movement spent, effectively doubling their movement speed as they slide along the path. I like to think of this as sort of an inverse plant growth spell. Rather than costing more movement, it costs less movement. But I also added some little fun in here as well. Once per turn, a creature can attempt to make use of the ice path with a successful DC 15 Dex check. If they succeed, they gain the benefits of the movement speed on the pathway, where if they fail, they fall prone and the area becomes difficult terrain. While it obviously has some serious movement benefits to the caster, having the potential to restrain multiple enemies is super powerful, which is why I placed this as a third level spell. While it's not the most powerful spell ever, it's definitely adding some variety and flavor, which I believe 5th edition is sorely lacking. Anyways, next up we have another fun spell that I call Frostmeld. You create a centralized blizzard around your location with a radius of 15 feet. While within the storm, you meld and hide within it, becoming heavily obscured to any creatures that look for you as if they were afflicted by the blinded condition. This spell is actually my favorite one on the list, and this might sound pretty broken, especially since I placed it as a second level spell. But I've yet to mention 2 very important factors when considering this spell level. First, the spell is concentration. If you are hit with an attack, you need to maintain concentration or the storm fades. And the second reason for it being only a second level spell is that the storm doesn't follow you automatically. You have to spend your bonus action to move it up to 30 feet, which takes away a potential bonus action attack. But if enemies are stupid enough to actually fight you within it, then they deserve what's coming to them. And that brings us to our 5th and final spell for today, which is actually a reaction spell that I called Frozen Prism. When an ally you can see within 30 feet is hit with a ranged attack, you create a shimmering array of ice to protect them. This Prism is an object with 10 HP, and any damage to it breaks shards off that return to the attacker, dealing the same amount of damage. If the attack would deal more than 10 damage, the remainder of the damage follows through to the original target. I placed this spell at a 3rd level for 2 main reasons. First, because Armor of Agathis is a 1st level spell that can be upcast to 3rd level to protect against 15 HP. Since you cast that on yourself, however, it should obviously be more powerful, simply because it's more restrictive in its use case. And second, because Counterspell is also a 3rd level spell. Choosing between Counterspell and Frozen Prism is a choice the caster's going to have to make. And while it's obviously clearly better for martial attacks, it is still worth considering depending upon how much damage the target would likely take. Is it powerful? Almost definitely. But is it overpowered? I don't think so. It really just gives a unique reaction spell to classes that otherwise wouldn't really have any access to. But anyways, that does it for 5 unique homebrew spells in D&D 5th edition. Before we finished, I wanted to give a huge and massive thank you to our YouTube members and patrons. All of these names behind me over here or over here help support the channel and making content that we all get to enjoy, so if you see any of the names in the comment section, be sure to give them a thumbs up. And if you want to support the channel, you can subscribe or become a member down below. Also, if you have any cool spells that you've made, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear them. I read every comment, almost always reply, and who knows, I might even feature your comment in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on Friday.